down, cause it makes troubles go away. Yeah. Oh my, my, my. I was so lost till now, didn't know I was in doubt. To meet the others, my brothers, hear me today. I'm gonna ride this train, never coming back and the twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets trembling, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land under the free, and the home of the
Welcome race fans to Domino's TYJ Racing, home of the free pizza giveaway, live on All Pro Broadcasting tonight from Talladega Superspeedway for the Scoops Ice Cream 160. Scoops Ice Cream from Vera, Florida. Making family traditions one scoop at a time. I'm Robert McFarland. Joining me tonight, and for all of 2017, good friend, famous broadcast talent from Valdosta, Georgia, Gabriel Wood. How you doing tonight, Gabe?
Doing good. I'm doing very good. It's been a long time coming. Been about 6 months away. I've been from really any sort of broadcasting. Just got back into it here shortly ago. And you know what? It's been a long time since I've been in the booth for not only a Talladega race, but a Domino's TYJ race. Even though this is a tryout race, I'm still very excited to see what's in store for tonight.
Yes, sir, Gabe. It is an honor and a privilege to have you here with us. All of our veteran drivers and myself, we're very excited that you're back. This is a tryout race number 2, like you said, for our 2017 recruiting season. We do have just a handful of seats left open for our 3 series for 2017, Dented Fenders Trucks, Premier Xfinity, and Top Shelf Cup. What are you expecting out of this tryout race tonight, Gabe?
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert. I think you guys have a very good mix of racetracks. Charlotte last week, it's a track that every driver on iRacing starts off with. Talladega, it is a whole different ball game. Talladega, it would seem simple. All you have to do is hold your foot to the floor and turn left. But once you get in a pack of these cars, either pushing or just in a giant pack with 40 other drivers, one lapse in concentration, you and 10 or 20 other people's races are over for the night. So I think it's a very telltale sign of what a driver can do with their talent and how concentrated they are inside the race car. So Talladega, I'm very excited. It seems like a lot of fast drivers and a lot of good drivers are in the field tonight.
That's right, Gabe. And like I mentioned before, here at Domino's TYJ Racing, it's the home of the free pizza giveaway. Fans that are joining us tonight, that will be joining us here in a few minutes, the way our free pizza giveaway works is very simple. If you correctly pick tonight's winner before lap 30, which is halfway, text it to myself at 919-883-7497, and we ask you to make one pick. You might want to wait till closer to lap 20, 25. Make sure the guy you want to pick is still in the race. If you're the first person to actually pick the winner and text it to my cell phone number, you will win a free pizza dinner courtesy of Domino's Pizza. Just like last week, Kathy Johnson from Smithfield, North Carolina was our winner. She enjoyed her free pizza on Saturday afternoon, and we're definitely excited for the fans to be here. They're a big part of what we're doing, Gabe.
Looking forward to that. Yeah, you want to, usually in something like last week at Charlotte, you can kind of tell who's going to be the front-running driver close to the halfway. But here, you want to wait till you're at lap 30 or at least close to it, because lap 28, your driver could be taken out in the big one. That's going to be a very big threat tonight. Now, Robert, I want to move on to tonight. We got qualifying underway right now. Provisional qualifiers right now is changing hands very quickly. Drivers just completing their second lap on track. And, of course, the second lap here at Talladega is usually the fastest. Jason Jacoby in that number 1, of course, Domino's Toyota Camry. He is on the pole right now, and he's just been knocked off by Raymond Rittenauer in the number 87. He's going to go to the top of the board with a 50.673. So the driver of the number 87 puts it on top right now. 27 drivers have taken time so far, Robert, but qualifying at Talladega, it's important, but it's not necessary. You can win from the back, you can win from the front. It's just how you do it.
That is true, and right now I'm going to bring in the booth with us Jason Jacoby. He has the Domino's Pizza sponsorship all over his car. Jason, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Thank you so much, you guys, for having me and putting on this race here. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir, Jason. You're not part of our league. You're actually doing your tryout race tonight. Just give us a real quick 30-second history of how you're a part of Domino's and what it would mean to you to make our league and to win this race tonight.
It would be, like everybody's saying, the perfect fit for me to be in the league that's owned and run by Domino's. So I hope I make it, and that'd be awesome. I asked my manager, Erica. She's got me off Thursday nights if I ever need to run. So I got started with Domino's when I was a cashier at Big Lots, and the Domino's manager came in. We needed our store, so I love to drive. I'm a delivery driver. It's a great job. I have a lot of fun. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir, Jacob. Good luck tonight. And it's Jacoby, correct? Jason Jacoby?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Perfect. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you. See y'all.
Now, if any of you recognize the name Jason Jacoby, You may have seen his YouTube videos either on YouTube or on Facebook. He has built what has got to be the coolest sim racing rig out there. You want to look him up here on YouTube, Jason Jacoby, got to get used to the new names. But he has got one of the best sim rigs I've ever seen, so if you want to check out his YouTube channel after the race, because you're not going to want to miss any part of tonight's event. Well, the field's set, 28 drivers took qualifying, but 43 are here to race. And here is your Domino's starting lineup. Starting on pole in the number 87, Raymond Rittenauer. The second will start pole with a 50.673. He got it early in qualifying and held on to it. We just talked to him. The number 1, Jason Jacoby, will start off second with a 50.687. Steve Hendricks, the number 50, will roll off second on the inside row. The 13 of Tim Cox will start in the 4th position. Close times, Robert, here at Talladega. It's going to be a very close field once these guys get into the draft. The number 39 of Michael Atkins Jr., you'll see him there on row number 3 on the inside. He will roll off in 5th. The 6th place driver, first car outside the top 5, is Jeremy Crandall in that number 73. The number 12 of William Roberts Jr. rolls off in 7th. Josh Bonwell in the number 56 rolls off in 8th. Kyle Carpentier will roll off in the 9th position. He was second in practice and rolls off 9th in the race. Blake Freeman in the number 88. He was number 1 in practice, qualifies in 10th. First driver outside the top 10, Peter Markman in the number 11th spot in that number 8. Jeffrey Ford also fast. Number 5 in practice will roll off in 12th. The 08 of Michael Jeans in that Monster Energy Southeast Motorsports. Number 08 will roll off in the 13th position. 14th will go to the 4 of Stephen Parks. The number 24, Eric Stanford, rolls off in the number 15th position in that Pepsi Chevrolet. Familiar number and a familiar sponsor for that car number combination. The number 99 of Jesse Abraham rolls off in 16th. 17th is going to go to Nick Reynolds in the number 54. Curtis Young, the driver who won the Domino's TYJ Truck Series last year and won almost every event that he competed in, will roll off in the number 18th position. Behind him in the 19th position, Joe Johnson in that number 18 Burger King Borla Mufflers Dr. Pepper Toyota Camry. Kyle Kramer in the number 42 will roll off in the 20th position. First car outside the top 20 is the 33 of David G. Anderson. Chad Payne, another regular in the Domino's TYJ Series, in the number 22 spot. The 00 of Dwayne Cooper rolls off in 23rd. The first of the 2 Vasquez drivers in the number 34, Samir Vasquez, will roll off in 24th. The 15 of Samuel Given in that, forgot a sponsor here. The number 15 car will roll off in the 24th spot. The rest of your starting grid will roll off across the top of your screen as we get ready to go. Robert, final thoughts before green.
Yes, Gabe, thank you for that. I tell you what, there's a lot of talented drivers in this field. A lot of fast cars, but as you know, all the fans know, it's not where you start this race, it's where you finish this race on the last lap. A lot of things are going to happen. This race is going to be action-packed. Fans, again, text to 919-883-7497. Your pick for the winner before lap 30. You will win a free pizza dinner. We'll remind you of that throughout the race.
Coming off of turn 4 to get the green flag, and look what is pacing the field. The brand new Porsche Roof GT3 iRacing.com Series pace car. It's going to get his inaugural debut here in the Talladega tryout race for the Domino's TYJ Series. It pulls off to the safety of pit road. It's going to be a good race. It's going to be a fast race, but oh Lord, is it going to be a dangerous race. Robert, green flag in the air for race number 2 in the tryout to the Domino's TYJ Series.
Yes, it looks like Raymond right now gets a great jump on that low line. He's got Jason Jacoby and the one machine right behind him. Hopefully those two can tuck up together. These NASCAR Sprint Cup cars with the restrictor plate on them cuts the horsepower down to about 450 horsepower. It does take about 1 to 2 complete laps to get up to full song, and these gentlemen will be cruising at about 202 miles an hour.
One car already dropping to the bottom of the racetrack to get out of the way of everybody trying to ride in the back in the early parts of this race. The field getting spread out just a little bit, but up front, It's side by side after the third row. That number 50 of Steve Hendrick, he's going to make a move for the lead. He's going to jump to the top on that number 1 machine. He's going to get the big push behind him through the tri-oval. Who's going to lead lap number 1? Here they come. The 50 on the outside, the 87 Chevrolet on the inside. 50 leads lap number 1. Steve Hendrick is going to lead first lap here at Talladega, but that really does not matter in the grand scheme of things, but it's a good little show of what that 50 can do and what the 1 can do, pushing drivers up to the lead. We're going to see this back and forth all night if these drivers stay side. Another car driving to the bottom side of the race. Here they come down the backstretch for the second time going into turn number 3.
Looks like Raymond Reitnauer's got a half a fender in front for the lead right now. He also has the 39 machine right behind him, tucked up. Looks like he gets a good push coming down to the front stretch.
Michael Atkins Jr. there in the 39 Chevy SS going to push at number 87 to the lead. Back, here they come. Lap number 2 is going to be led by that 87 of Raymond Reitnauer. Right behind them, that number 12 of William Roberts. He's got that Monster Energy Toyota Camry wound up. He's going to be number 3 on that bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to push past that number 50 on the outside lane split. Here comes that 39 to the top side. The hole closes there on the bottom side. He's got nowhere to go but fast. He's got nowhere to go but up front. Here they come into turn number 3. The 87 on the inside, 39 on the outside. Everybody's going to jump to the bottom except the 2 cars there on the outside. That is going to spell doom for this early run. Looks like they're going to slide back to wherever they can find a place in line. Coming off of turn number 4 into the tri-oval, the 87 is going to maintain the lead so far. And now that 50 found a place in line that's going to lead the 39 to his fate.
Yes, Gabe. William Roberts in the number 12 machine, that Toyota Camry Monster Energy sponsored machine. He won our tryout race last week at Charlotte. He has just joined our league. He filled one of the few remaining spots, and he is looking to have another great run tonight as he is running second right behind Raymond Reitnauer in the number 87. Those two gentlemen look like they might not be teammates, but it looks like they're partnering up in the early stages of this race to have a good run so far.
Well, that's what you see. We saw a bunch of these guys, especially that 003 Carpentier, Cal Carpentier. They're, I believe that's how you say it, or Carpentier. But that 003 there, the third car on the inside lane, the only lane active right now, he was a very fast car there in the early parts of practice. I saw him drafting with a lot of guys. Getting a little bit squirrely there right near that 12. He gets a little push, and now he's going to transfer that push onto the 87. Single file here, lap number 5. Robert, we're at the point where we see on almost every restrictor plate race, these guys just want to survive, get to the halfway point, get to the end. Speaking of halfway point, remember to get your picks in. You want to see who's going to win this race. You may just win a free pizza for all your troubles.
This game, we've got Jason Jacoby in the number 1 machine, the Domino'S sponsored machine running in 4th behind him. We have Steve Hendricks in the number 50 machine. A couple car links back, we have Peter Markham. He is in the 8 machine. Then we have Tim B. Cox in the number 13 machine. Those top 7 drivers have kind of pulled away. They got about 5, 6, 8 car lengths in front of the 08 machine of Michael James.
Right behind that number 08 is going to be the 95 of Jeffrey Ford. He started 12th up to 9th, one of the big movers here early. It's kind of hard to make up positions here once these guys get single file, but he's done a good job of it. Also, the number 11, just talked about him, the 8 of Peter Martin. He started in the 11th spot up to 6th. He was 3rd in the practice session earlier tonight, so he's got a good car under him. See what he's going to do once these guys kind of fan out and see if they can get double wide again, see what they can do. These guys jumping to the outside. There goes the 95, trying to make something happen. He's going to try and draft past that number 08 there on the inside lane. Not going to happen. Nobody's going to win him. Back up front, the 12 and the 003. They're going to jump to the outside, leave the 87 with no help there on the bottom. He's going to drop back 1 position, maybe 2 by the time that bottom side gets a little bit of momentum. To the lead for now, the number 12 of William Roberts.
Yes, the number 12 of William Roberts. He had the lead there for about 400 or 500 feet. 87 of Raymond Reitnauer gets right back by around him.
We're going to turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race here back to the start-finish line. Who's going to lead? Lap number 7. They come through. Looks like their momentum's failing them just a little bit. Here they come back to the start-finish line. A little bit of a gap between the 12 and the 003. I don't think it's going to happen this time. That 87 is going to get the big push from that 1 behind them. and he's going to move back to the lead. But here comes that momentum again. They're back up side by side with the 50 of Steve Hendricks. About a 20-car breakaway. It's a very good pack here. Look at the 12. He's working these guys all by themselves, basically. They've got that entire inside lane, and they are pushing past them, or at least attempting to. They're side by side with the 1, or at least now the 50 now of Steve Hendricks, but they're going to try and push past the number 1 Domino's machine of Jason Jacoby. But that momentum yet again failing them as they enter turn number 3. It's not going to happen this time, so that 87's got a command on the lead. Looks like they're going to fall all the way back to where they can get in line, but unfortunately that looks like a long way to go, and they may even pick up the number 95 of Jeffrey Ford and the number 8 of Peter Markman. Looks like he jumped to the outside trying to get something going, and looks like that 99 of Jesse Abraham's going to jump to the bottom. He tried it on the outside, did not happen, so he's going to fall in behind the number 56 of Josh Bonwell. But looks like the outside lane, you're not going to do anything unless you have people behind you.
Yes, sir, Gabe. They had 2 cars. Like I said, William Roberts had the lead there for several hundred feet, but they are paying the price. They had that lead just for a short moment. The 2 cars, they needed about another 4 or 5 behind them. They're falling all the way back, looks like maybe to 10th, 11th, 12th position here.
Talladega is the great equalizer, but if you do not have friends with you, you are going to go to the rear quickly. It's like they're going to have an opportunity to jump behind between the 4 and the 24. They are just a few more positions back if that gap is maintained for Stephen Parks and the 24 Eric Stanford. Let's see what's going to happen. Is that 03 going to dump his partner? Looks like that gap is going to get filled by the 95, so they're going to have to slide back. He made the move for it, but the gap was already closed by the time he got there, so the 95 closes into the back bumper of the car in front of him, that 4 of Stephen Parks, and they're going to close out that entire inside lane. So, but, Robert, this might be for the best, because now they got about 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 cars. So they got 7 cars there on the outside from, I believe is that's Curtis Young. Curtis Young, he's going to inherit the lead of those cars. Looks like he jumped to the top side of the racetrack. He started way back in the 18th position, but he's doing good. Close inside the top 10 in 9th so far, so he's going to come around the stripe this time. 2 more cars jump to the top, the 08 and the 88. 08 drops back down by the time they get to turn number 1. But look at that. That's what's going to be a real key here, Robert. These guys getting momentum, and as soon as they get to the car in front of them, somebody else jumps up so they can continue that momentum, continue that draft. I know the 19 really wants to lead this race, but if he wants to get up front, which they're doing right now, he's going to have somebody in front of him, or going to have somebody continue that momentum, because they're not going to get it. But look at this, that 88, that Trump Pence machine on the outside lane of the racetrack, he's making it work. Started 7th on this lap, now to the lead coming off of turn number 4. Little bit of contact, the 87 gets swirly. It's a big wreck, takes out the number 1, takes out the 87 coming up the racetrack.
All right, man, caution is out.
Caution is out.
That is a huge accident there that was started by the 87, got a little squirrely, took out the 1 of Jason Jacoby, and a whole slew of cars behind him. Gabe, what did you see there?
Looking here at the number 87 of Rittenauer, he was in the lead just a few hundred feet before. It's like he came up to side draft that number 88 on the outside, but the 87 timed it wrong, ended up making a little contact. He's going to come back up the racetrack, overcorrect, down to the bottom. I really thought it was going to take out more cars. Looks like it took out the 4, and looked like the 42 there also. They're kind of hanging out to the back of the pack, but unfortunate for guys like Kyle Kamer. Just after lap number 10, and their races are basically ruined.
Yes, sir, Gabe. Some of these guys are going to get some repairs done on pit road. Some of these guys are probably going to have to pull out their backup car. They do have 1 backup car for tonight's race. Man, was that something. And on that note, while the field gets caught up and the damaged cars come down pit road, we're going to step away for just a couple of minutes for a commercial break. Again, fans, we want to thank you for watching. This is the Scoops Ice Cream 160 at Talladega Motor Speedway. Brought to you live with All Pro Broadcasting. Scoops Ice Cream of Viera, Florida. Making family traditions, 1 scoop at a time. We will be right back.
watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Scoops Ice Cream 160 here at Talladega Super Speedway. Fans, you want to get your picks in? This is Domino's TYJ Racing, brought to you live on All Pro Broadcasting. Domino's TYJ Racing, home of the free pizza giveaway. How you get your free pizza tonight, fans? You make your pick who you think is going to win this race before lap 30. We're on lap 14. You've got 16 laps. We ask you to make one pick. Text your pick to 919-883-7497. The first person to accurately text or in the live chat, you can subscribe to the channel, make your comment there. Gabe will be checking the comments in the live chat during the race broadcast. Also, the first person to accurately pick the correct winner of this race before lap 30 will win a free pizza dinner courtesy of Domino's Pizza.
Coming off of turn number 4 here on the pace laps back here at Talladega. Robert, we have a new leader, the 003 of Kyle Carpentier. He had a very good pit stop there on this little round of pit stops there while we were away from break, and now he's going to be the first person behind that brand new Porsche Roof GT3 iRacing.com pace car. Lights are still on it. We expect him to go out this time by. Let's see what's going to happen. That 8 of Peter Markman. He is going to inherit that second spot, and Curtis Young slides back 1 there after that wreck. He's going to be in the 19th. He's going to be in the 19 car. He's going to line up on the second row inside in that third position. Steve Hendricks, he is the highest running car of the original leaders in that number 50 machine. They're running on the apron, but if he chooses to start there, he will begin the race again in the number 4 spot.
Yes, Gabe, I want to mention real quick, Curtis Young in the 19 machine, he has made his way all the way up to the third position. Like you said, he started 19th. He is one of our veteran drivers from earlier this year, our inaugural season. He actually had 15 total wins in our Did Finish Truck Series as well as our Gen 6 Cup Car Series. He went on to win the Did Finish Truck Championship in a big, big way. He is one of our best drivers on the track. It would not surprise me to see him staying up front now that he's in third position, maybe even getting a win here tonight. And Gabe, you know all about the success Curtis Young had earlier this year. What's your impression, and who is your pick at this point in the race?
Well, I can't really make a pick so far, but yeah, I do like Curtis Young. It's amazing, actually, though. He actually really hit his stride there winning in the Domino's Truck Series and Cup Series really halfway through the year. So he got all 15 of those wins, or at least most of them, after the halfway point in the season. So he did really, really well. I mean, you can kind of call him Mr. September, really, because he came on his stride and ended up winning the Truck Series Championship, finished very well in the Cup Series Championship. He has done very, very well. But you know what, Robert, at this point, I have to go with my gut feeling. It's got to be Curtis Young, the driver from Shelbourne, Ontario, Canada, because I've just seen him race. I've seen how consistent he is, and I've seen him on the plate tracks, and I think the 19 would be the way to go.
Let's bring him in the broadcast booth real quick and get a real quick word from him. I think we've got enough time to do that. Curtis Young, driver of the 19. Go ahead, Gabe.
Curtis Young, Domino's TYJ Racing booth, that 19, you got a copy?
Indeed I do. How you doing, Gabe?
Doing good. Good to be back, and left you just like, or I've come back just like I left you. You're running up front at either a plate track or any track. How's that 19 doing in the draft?
Me and the 88 got a real good run going on the outside there to get up front, and other than that, I was just trying to stay on the inside and just work with everybody else. I think we might have a chance to win tonight. We'll see. It's you always need a bit of luck on a plate track, but if we can get out front, we're going to try and stay out there.
See what you can do. We're on the backstretch coming to the green, so Curtis, we're going to go ahead and let you go, but good luck, and maybe we'll talk to you at the end of the night in Victory Lane. You never know here at Talladega Super Speedway.
All right, thank you.
Yes,
Rounding
Gabe.
turn number 3 into turn number 4. Sorry, Robert.
There's a lot of talent still in this race. He just one pick.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I would not want your job picking one driver out of field 43 or at least 36 who took the green flag. That's a hard pick to make because anybody can win here at the Super Speedway, and whoever gets the free pizza here tonight, whoever picks the driver after or at before halfway, and if you pick the winner, my hat is off to you because you're a lot better at this than I am. Pace car pulls off to the safety of pit road for the second time here tonight after our first caution took out some of our best drivers there in the lead. Oh, big shove there coming from the restart. That 50 wanted them to get going, but these guys, they have resets, so they will get back on track, and we'll see them up front yet again. They're side by side. The 19 getting a big push to that 003 there on the inside lane. That big push we saw from the 50. He wanted that 8 of Peter Markman to go there on the restart, but it did not work. It looks like that 003 of Kyle Carpentier is going to be clear on the inside lane, but here comes the outside. The 8's going to jump to the top. Let's see what he can do grounding into turn number 3. He is side by side with the leader. There on the bottom is the 03 Ford Fusion. On the outside is that Lowe's number 8 Chevy SS. He's going to be pushed by the number 50, the 19 behind him. We just talked to him. Let's see who's going to lead here on lap number 17 after the green flag there from the first restart. Looks like that 003 is going to lead his first lap under green, completing lap number 17 on to 18. Let's see what's going to happen. A lot of shuffling there in the back of the pack. That 18, look behind there in that Burger King car. You see him, that black car. He has done a very good job to get up front here. Let's see what he can do. That's the 18 of Joe Johnson. They're in the 7th position there on the inside lane. Behind him, the 24 Pepsi Chevy SS, and behind him, the 15 jumps to the top. That's that Irwin Tools Ford Fusion. He jumps to the top to help the outside lane behind the 00. These guys get fanned out. It's a 2-car breakaway up front on the outside. It's a 3-car breakaway on the inside.
And just as we're talking, Curtis Young jumps to the outside. He took over that lead position just for a minute. It's neck and neck, him and the 003 of Carpentier.
003 is going to lead it this time by on lap number 18. Let's see what's going to happen. Looks like that 50 or the 88. He's going to jump to the middle lane as that 4 of Stephen Parks. He's going to come off of pit road. He was one of the drivers involved in the incident. A little bit of weaving there. He's going to try and break that draft from the drivers behind him, disrupt that air. It looks like it's working, but not in their favor because here comes the 19 again. Let's see what's going to happen. They take the wide angle into turn number 3. That's not going to work out. I think they're going to try for a shot there on the back straightaway the next time around.
Yes, it looks like he's got the 00 of Dwayne Cooper. 2 cars behind him. Oh, and there's a spin.
00 gets turned in front of the pack. Let's see what happened there. Big wreck, guys, getting collected. Let's see Dwayne Cooper out of this race here on lap number 19. He comes up in front of the pack, hits the 17 of Philip Meyer. A couple of cars damaged in this wreck.
Looks like he just barely came down over the nose of the 15. Just wasn't quite clear, and the 15 did not give him room.
Well, you can't really say he gave him room because he was on the bottom side of the racetrack. There was really nothing he could do. I mean, he could go down to the bottom, but the 00 chopped his nose off there. The 15, that Irwin Tools yellow and blue car, he made a very good save there after the contact with the 00, but it looked just like a move of desperation here, trying to get to the bottom side of the racetrack, because if not, he probably would have slid back to the bottom side of the racetrack behind him. So I can't really fault him for that. It was kind of he wanted to get to the bottom very fast because he knew the momentum was failing him.
Yes, I agree with you, Gabe. Looks like there just was not room for him to come down, and there we have our second caution.
Driver's going to bypass pit road here this time, or at least the leaders do. Let's see if anybody's going to come. It looks like a little bit there back in the pack. Driver's like 34 of Samir Vasquez. Oh, contact on pit road. It looked like, at least the iRacing glitching out from the 44 of Ray Richer and the 34 Samir Vasquez. The drivers get on pit road relatively safely. Everybody going to take 4 tires all around for the drivers back in the pack. I mean, it's a smart decision. You know, if these guys go on a long run here, maybe 30 or 40 laps, tires could come into play because the cars will start to push up the racetrack off of turn number 2, and you may see guys start to gain momentum if they have those new tires.
Yes, new tires can make a small difference here at Talladega. They haven't run that many laps, but it will have to be interesting to see who took 2, who took 4, who took fuel only. Did you notice that, Gabe?
No, I didn't see it, but I mean, you can do it here at Talladega, but there's really not much to the strategy here at Talladega. I mean, if you're up front, you have a chance to win. If you're toward the back, you have to work your way up front. It gets a lot harder to pass longer in the race. We'll just have to see what happens.
These pace laps take about a minute or so to complete, although when they're at full song, it's a lot quicker than that. It'll be really interesting to see if these pit stops mix up the running order, if it puts some guys from the back towards the front who might have pitted earlier, and who has got a chance to maybe make their name into the Domino's TYJ League for 2017.
Now, Robert, I have a question to ask you. I have a pick for the 88 of Blake Freeman here in the chat. Problem is, it was made by the 88 of Blake Freeman watching the broadcast. So technically, if he wins, does he win?
Negative. If Blake Freeman's in the race, which he is, he's a talented driver. He cannot pick himself to win. We also have another pick through messaging at 919-883-7497 for Jason Jacoby. Unfortunately, Jason was involved in that first incident.
Hopefully we can see the driver, the number 1, work his way back up front. Right now he is in the 21st position, still in the lead lap, and he's trying to work his way back up front. He started second, again was involved in that wreck, racing for the lead around lap number 11. But he's got a fast car and he knows what he's doing. He's, like I said during the pre-race show and during the grid, he has got one of the nicest simulators I've ever seen. So at least he's got the equipment behind him. I think he can pull it off.
Yes, and let's remind all the fans, here we are at lap 22. If you would like to make your pick and win a free pizza dinner courtesy of Domino's Pizza, simply text 919-883-7497. Before lap 30, you've got about 6-7 laps to get your pick in. The first fan or viewer to accurately pick the winner of this race will win a free pizza dinner courtesy of Domino's Pizza. Again, text 919-883-7497. You can be the winner like Kathy Johnson was from Smithville, North Carolina last Thursday night.
Still under the pace car lights, under caution here on lap number 22. Coming on 23. Hopefully we will get the green flag next time by. Robert, closing in on halfway, what are you seeing so far from what are basically your drivers?
Well, like I said, I've been impressed with Curtis Young. He's always finds his way up to the front in the 19 machine. Some other drivers that are good drivers in our league, Chad Payne in the number 9 machine, he is up to 12th. He started in 22nd. He was 34th on the practice grid. He's got a shot at winning on this plate track every time we come to a plate track. Also, Judd Danielson in the 85 machine, he is running 15th. He qualified 29th. He's always had a shot to win one of these races. Ray Richer, we haven't mentioned him yet. He's in the 44 machine. He's up to 16th. You can never rule Ray out in one of these races. Who else are you looking at?
Well, I was going to say I'm looking at that 85 of Judd Danielson. He was fast on the plate tracks last year. I'm looking at our stats right now, the Ripon Eagle Racing machine for that number 85. We're at Talladega, Robert, and the hometown of this driver is just about as correct as you can get. He is from Luck, Wisconsin, and good Lord, if he is going to need it to get to victory lane here, not because of his driving skill, but because of the amount of drivers we have going for the win, because all of them can make it. So Luck, Wisconsin, pull for your local driver in that number 85.
Yes, Gabe, we have a couple other drivers a little further back in the field. We have Joe Owen in the 802 machine. He is actually one lap down, second vehicle one lap down in 30th. He has won a couple of races earlier this year. But I'm definitely impressed with the 003 of Kyle Carpentier. We'll figure out his pronunciation soon. He is a newcomer to the race. It'll be interesting to see if he can hold off the current drivers of our league and the new folks that are in their first trial race. We've already had a telephone interview. He is definitely impressing me at this stage of the race. We will just have to see. Again, fans, if you're an iRacing fan and you want to have your shot to be part of our league, you can also go to our website, Domino'sTYJRacing.com. Apply there. Like I said, we have a few positions left to fill.
Robert, I think our broadcaster here at All Pro needs to make us a new graphic. The number of times we've either mispronunciate the 003's name or the different kind of names that we've given him. I think we've gone through about 4 or 5 different pronunciations of the 003's name. So if he continues in this league, we'll learn it. And hopefully he's not a little too mad at us because I'm sure we pronounced it wrong at least a few times.
Let's just call him Kyle. Kyle on the 003 machine. I'm sure if he wins this race and earns himself $10 and qualifies for the league on top of that, he will definitely let us know how to pronounce his name, and he will not be upset at all.
Hopefully not. Double file on the back straightaway. Lights are off atop the pace car, so we're going to go green next time by on lap number 25. Field is filing up. Inside lane, you have the 003 of Kyle Carpentier in the 88 of Blake Freeman there on the outside, the driver who voted for himself in the free pizza giveaway, but unfortunately is not qualified. The 50 of Steve Hendricks is going to roll off on the inside row, the second row inside in that third position. The 12 of William Roberts. We've seen him run up around the top 5, just has not gotten to the lead yet to lead a lap. Hopefully he can do that here in the next couple laps. Curtis Young started second. Started third there on the last restart and got shuffled back to the 5th position. Your top 5 rundown here coming off of turn number 4. That pace car is going to pull off one more time, hopefully for the last time here tonight. Lap number 24 on the 25. We're nearing halfway, so get those picks in if you want a free pizza. Remember, halfway, that is your cutoff to pick the winner of tonight's race. And if you can do it, you win a free pizza courtesy of Domino's. 003 is going to lead them to the green flag. That 88 of Blake Freeman is going to look to get a push from that number 12 Monster Energy machine behind him. Let's see what's going to happen. Green flag in the air. Nose to nose as they cross the start-finish line. Sorry, Robert, the 88 gets a decent shove there from that number 12, but it's not going to do anything for him. A little bit of a breakaway, a little bit of a space between the 003 and the number 50 behind him. See what's going to happen here. A lot more separation there on the inside lane. I think, Robert, this time by, I think the outside lane's got it.
Yes, the 88 of Blake Freeman has got the 12 of William Roberts Jr. right behind him. There are 2 other cars behind him. Looks like they are going to have a run on the outside here, coming down through turn number 1 and 2. Possibly down the back stretch, they will be able to take over the lead from the 003 of Kyle.
What's going to happen here? They come across on the first straightaway through that tri-oval. This will be important. Right there is where the checkered flag is at Daytona. Right there is where it is here at Talladega. So that will come into play. We'll have more than finish lap number 60. At 88, looks like that outside lane broke up. So we're going to see that inside lane dominance yet again here on the back straightaway, closing in on halfway. A big shuffle there in the back of the pack. Drivers trying to work their way back up front. Looks like that number 23. Excuse me, there's so many cars to keep track of. That number 44, Ray Richards in the middle of it. And Jason Jacoby in that number 1, that Domino's machine on the outside, that white car. He's trying to work his way back up front in 16th. Restarted in 21st. Let's see what he can do working his way back up front. But he's going to have to overcome the gap between the 2 packs. See what's going to happen here. Excuse me, I got a little confused. I thought the 88 had moved into the lead. I was kind of weirded out on me, but the 88 jumps to the top side of the racetrack. Let's see what he can do this time by, Robert, as they come to the back straightaway again.
It looks like he's got to run on the outside. It'll just depend on if he can actually make this pass going down the back stretch. He's got
what's going to happen here coming in.
He's got the monster.
Sorry, Robert, go ahead.
He's got the monster machine of William Roberts, the number 12 machine, pushing him.
I tell you what, Robert, these guys, they are learning. It may not seem like they're doing anything productive. They're sitting on the outside, but they're learning how long it takes to make that outside lane work and if it can work. So when it comes down to 10 to go, 5 to go, they know what kind of moves to make, where they need to be, where in the pack they need to be. If they're way back, and these guys, the guys in the second pack, they're all those drivers you see back there coming off of turn number 2. If they cannot make up that gap, they know that they need to push their hearts out, trying to make it work back their way up front. Jason Jacoby in that number 1 machine, looks like he's going to try and push. Looks like he changed partners on us. Trying to find the driver. He's the 54. The 54, Nick Reynolds. In that Rockstar Energy, he's going to try. Chad Payne is the driver pushing it in that Ford Fusion. He's going to try to work his way back up to the pack. And we got to change for the lead, or at least, nope, timing and scoring going out on me again. But Blake Freeman was actually the leader last time by. I didn't even notice that.
Yes, Gabe, they are fighting 2x2, 4x4 in the front. The 003 of Kyle is still leading this race, but the 88 of Blake Freeman with the 12 of William Roberts Jr. Are pushing on the outside line. They are just a tight-knit group. They're actually pulling away from that second group of cars.
Here they come on the lap number 30. Get your picks in now. Look at your drivers. See who you want and who you think is going to win the race. By the time they come back next time by, the polls will be closed. Whatever you have will be your pick. If you haven't got it in, well, tough luck and get it in next week. Lap car. First time we've seen a lap car. Looks like the number 50 jumps to the top, or jumps up into the lead. The 50 is Steve Hendricks. Lap car is going to get out of the way of the leaders. See, so the 85 of Judd Danielson, that driver of the number 85 Chevrolet on the outside, he is going to get out of the way. It's unfortunate for him. I thought he had a chance to win this race. He's very, very fast on the plate tracks, but maybe we will see him get a W in the regular season. At 88, he moves back to the lead. That's going to be Blake Freeman in that number 88, blue and white and red. I should say red, white, and blue. It's a very patriotic scheme on that number 88 machine. He's going to come by and lead lap number 30, and picks are in. If you're putting them in now, you are too late. We're going to take a look and see who has picked who.
Yes, Gabe, and Steve Henderson, the 50 machine, is running a very clean, smart race tonight. He is up to second right behind Blake Freeman in the 88. Kyle in the 003 car is falling back to third. And then we have Curtis Young in the 19 machine riding very comfortably in fourth. We've also got in the 18 machine Joe Johnson. Haven't talked much about him, but he's been in the top 5 or 10 all night long. We've also got William Roberts Jr., the 12 machine, in the Monster Energy Toyota. He has fallen back to 6th position, looks like, but he is safely in the top 10, looking for a good finish here tonight, Gabe. Also have Jeffrey Ford in the 95 machine. He's fallen back to 8th position. He has raced a clean race tonight. Behind him we have Jesse Abram. I telephone interviewed him earlier this week in the 99 machine. He is about 8 car lengths behind the 95, but he is keeping up there. Then we have a new driver, Stephen DeBoer in the 43 machine. Behind him we have Nick Reynolds in the 54 machine. He's running a clean race. And like I said earlier, Chad Payne in the number 9 machine. He is always a threat. He's just racing a smart race tonight, staying out of trouble. He's running in 12th. He can win this race with 3 laps to go from that position. We've seen it done time and time again. And as always, Jason Jacoby in the 1 Domino'S sponsored machine is back in 13th. He led a lap or 2 up earlier in the race, and he's definitely got a shot to continue to win this race, or to get his win in this race.
That number 1 machine up to the 13th spot. That 85 of Joe Danielson we talked about him a second ago being the lap car. It's like he's trying to help that inside lane, or at least that second pack inside cars. About 10 cars in that main pack, and yeah, he's got a fast enough car to pull all those cars. We got a caution. Looks like the number 56 gets up into the wall. That's Josh Bonwell in that number 56 machine to the outside wall. Looks like he just got spun around. At least on my screen, It's like a little bit of a weird incident, at least on my screen. I don't know if anybody else, the replay will show something a little bit more normal, but a tough end, or at least a tough end of that car. He will get it repaired and get it back out on the racetrack, but tough luck for that 56 of Josh Bonwell.
Yes, I saw the 37 machine. Looks like he checked up and got rear-ended. Todd Kirkwood in the 37 machine had to check up for the 16 of Justin Anderson. And it looks like right behind him, Joe Owen in the 802 machine had nowhere to go. Raymond right now in the 87 machine could not get wound up soon enough, and that sent Joe Owen in the 802 machine into the inside wall.
Oh, wow, I didn't even notice that all those cars had wrecked. I was focusing on the 56 machine of Josh Bonwell. But wow, that's, maybe that was a wreck after the caution, but not sure when the caution flew. But yeah, it looks like the guys were slowing down and were not prepared to. And it's unfortunate, guys not paying attention. That's one thing you have to do. You blink for 1 second, metaphorically, you blink for a second, and the whole world has just absolutely changed. And if you don't have your concentration, if you're not concentrating, you could end yourself and a couple other guys' night.
Yes, Gabe, when you're running 199, 202 miles an hour, something happens in front of you, you have no chance to avoid it, no chance to get on the brakes and slow your car down enough to avoid anything. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to step away for another quick commercial break. Again, we would remind you, thank you for watching. This is the Scoops Ice Cream 160 live on All Pro Broadcasting from Talladega Superspeedway. Scoops Ice Cream from Vieira, Florida, making family traditions one scoop at a time. We will be right back. Welcome back, race fans, to the Scoops Ice Cream 160 live on Off-Road Broadcasting from Talladega Superspeedway. Gabe, we have a new leader up front. I don't know how long that'll last. The 21 of Richard Dix. He is a newcomer to our league, has had a telephone interview. His father races in our league, Chuck Dix, who's not in this race. It'll be interesting to see how he handles being in the lead. It is definitely looking good for him.
Yeah, let's see what will happen. If you're in the lead at Talladega, you definitely have a shot to win. A couple of little updates. Looks like we got a couple of guys taking the wave around. It's going to be Eric Stanford in the number 24 Pepsi Chevy. Stephen Parks, we saw him up front earlier, got taken out in that initial wreck. Finally working his way back up front. And Kyle Kamer also involved in that initial wreck with the 4, the 87. Those three drivers take the wave around the pace car. Everybody lined up 2 by 2 on the back straightaway, getting ready to restart here on lap number 37 on to lap number 38. Lights are out atop the pace car. It's going to be that 21, like father, like son, leading in the Domino's TYJ Racing Series. Chuck Dix, the father of the 21 of Richard. 50 is Steve Hendricks on the outside on row number 1. And the 19 of Curtis Young. Hasn't led yet today, but he would sure like to change that. He's got a new drafting partner. That 21 in front of him. Let's see what's going to happen here on the restart, closing in on 20 laps to go here in the Talladega race.
Yes, we do have Curtis Young in the 19 machine right behind on the second row. Would not surprise me at all to see him get a good jump and make his way to the lead before this is over.
Pace car ducks down to pit road for what is hopefully the last caution of the night. Been some good green flag racing. Contact with Ray Richard in the 8 back there in the pack, but everybody seems to have gotten away pretty clean. The 50 beats him to the line. So that means our leader that time by is going to be the 50 of Steve Hendricks. He's going to jump to the lead. Let's see what's going to happen side by side with the 003 behind him. The 19 jumps to the bottom to help the 21. 2-car breakaway. Another little got the 88 of Blake Freeman there on the outside, and it looks like the 99 is helping that 88 machine to get up front. That 21 is going to abandon his drafting partner, and that's going to leave the 50 out to dry. He's going to get picked up by the 99 on the outside. He's going to slide all the way back outside of the top 5 around Joe Johnson. Looks like that gap is going to close before he can get down, but coming around this time by, the 50 let it that time by on the restart, but this time it's going to be the 21 of Richard Dix. He's going to lead its first lap in Domino's TYJ competition.
Yes, the 21 of Richard Dix is definitely making a good show here on lap 39. Curtis Young in the 19 machine, like I said, is running safely in the number 2 position. We also have the 003 of Kyle Carpentier in 3rd. He is running a very clean race. Been up front, led a lot of laps tonight. Also, Blake Freeman, the 88, is running 4th. He is always looking to get up front. And behind him we have Joe Johnson, the 18 machine. He's been, it seems like, in the top 5 all night long, Gabe.
A little new face here. They got the 34 of Samir Vasquez. He is in the 7th position behind that number 99 of Jesse Abraham. Coming to the stripe this time. He's going to take a little look around that number 99 to see if he can get a run going. Not going to happen this time. A couple of these guys shuffling out just to kind of poke their nose out and say, I'm ready to go if anybody else is, but it's not going to happen this time. A big check up there. It looks like the 50 caught that 34 before he thought he was ready. Looks like we got one car trying to make a jump to the top side of the racetrack. Not going to happen. It's the 88 of Blake Freeman. The 18 jumps to the top side. Joe Johnson. Let's see what those two drivers can do. He's going to fake him out, try and get that position. Big push from the 99 of Jesse Abraham. Let's see what's going to happen. He's going to close up that gap. So move the 18 of Joe Johnson into that 4th spot. Your top 3 remains unchanged.
Yes, the 88 Blake Freeman looked to the outside. Looks like he's going to get shuffled all the way back, maybe to 7th, 8th position. Almost some contact between him and the 34 of 34 Samir Vasquez. And further behind him, looks like Ray Richard, the 44 machine, has caught the 50 of Markham. We also have, don't look now, the number 1 of Jason Jacoby on the outside. Oh, little spin.
Oh, 34 over the wall. Samir Vasquez into the wall. That 34 machine just took a hard left and then a hard right into the outside safer barrier. Going to get the replay up for you. It looks like he got a little bit of contact from the 50 he wasn't ready, and it sent him sideways, and as soon as he hit that apron on the racetrack, it shot him back up into the field. And luckily, it looks like a lot of the drivers are going to ghost through him. So, big wreck avoided there here on lap number 41.
Yes, Gabe, as you know, us fans know, on these plate tracks, these cars are running right at 195, 198 miles an hour. One car gets into you. Bump drafting is what they call it, Gabe. It's very, very famous type of drafting and racing. That's how you can get some momentum. The 50 of Peter Markham just barely bump drafted the 34 of Samir Vasquez in the corner. He just wasn't quite ready for that big of a bump, and it turned him sideways, and luckily no more cars were involved in that one, Gabe.
Yeah, a little bit of history there on the pushing. The Gen 5 car, this is the Gen 6 we have here now. They kind of made it look a little bit more like the street counterparts, the Ford Fusion, Toyota Camry, and Chevy SS. Before, we had pretty much the kind of square cookie-cutter bodies of the Gen 5. The front and rear bumpers matched up, and that's when drivers discovered that they could push each other and go about 10 miles an hour faster the way the draft worked. Instead of just bumping each other, they could lock bumpers. Well, now that they've learned that, they moved away to the Gen 6, and the bumpers no longer match up, but the drivers still are in that habit, and they know they can go fast, and if you hit that bumper wrong, it could send you or anybody else for a wild, wild ride.
And that's exactly what Vasquez took in the 34. Hopefully he's not injured. He can get his car back out on the track. We'll see how these pit stops go, Gabe. Let us know what's happening on pit road.
Saw none of the leaders really take a shot down to pit road. A couple of the guys like Peter Markman, looks like he's going to actually take the car behind the wall. So not a lot of work being done on pit road. Looks like the 28 on pit road, he was a little bit farther back. But your major players in this race, he just became one, Richard Dix. A little bit of pit strategy, or at least a good pit stop. I didn't check and see if he had pitted or not. But that 21 is out front now, and he was doing a good job out front. These guys, they're running the same setup, but it takes a driver who knows how to run the draft and knows how to run Talladega and kind of move with the air to run up front, and he's doing just that. At number 19 of Curtis Young right behind him, and the 003 of Kyle Carpentier, that makes about 6 or 7 different pronunciations we have tonight in that 003 in that third position. Joe Johnson in the number 18 in the fourth spot, that Burger King Borla mufflers, or Borla exhaust, Toyota Camry. Jesse Abraham, we've seen him. He just became a player. And it looks like he was kind of stuck in between the two big packs. He was kind of stuck in limbo there about 20 laps ago, Robert, and he was able to get a caution. And now he's really showing his speed now up here in the top 5.
Yes, Gabe, let's bring in driver of the 44 machine, Ray Richer, for a quick interview. Hey, Ray Richer in the 44 machine. You're in the broadcast booth here with Gabe for Domino's TYJ Racing. How's your race going tonight? How's your car feel? What do you think your chances are of winning this race, Ray?
Well, right now I was involved in a wreck earlier, and we had to use fast repair to get it back in order, but otherwise the car feels really good right now. A little bit of pit strategy. I took 2 tires on one, took 2 tires on the other, and it got me towards the front after starting way in the back. Right now, these cars seem to drive a lot different with this new build. And with that being said, they don't seem to dance around as much as they used to, so it's easier to drive. But to go through the corners, you actually have to drive them with your foot in the steering wheel. So I got a real good chance at winning this, I think.
Yes.
Now, Ray, I want to ask you something. We saw a little contact there on the last restart. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, it looked like the 34 checked up with the 50. The 50, actually, he was up front, I believe, and then he came diving down in front of me. I watched it. I had to release the throttle just a little bit, just a little room. If not, I would have wrecked the whole field. That's the way I feel anyways about it. But 34 was ahead of him. He seemed to be shimmying a little bit back and forth. And with that being said, I think that the 50 kind of lifted, and I just hit his rear end. There was not much I could do.
Thanks a lot, Ray. Good luck for the rest of the race. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it, fellas. Let's see if we can get it done.
That was Ray Richard, driver of that number 44. Flat black, Texaco, Haviland Dodge. Kind of looks like Kenny Irwin's old paint scheme, or at least anybody who drove for Robert Yates during the 90s. Or late Davey Allison paint scheme. That's a very, very sharp looking paint scheme. It's simple, but it works. Talking about simple and works. that plain white paint scheme, that Domino's TYJ Racing Series car right behind him, the number 1 of Jason Jacoby. Robert, we've seen him work his way from the back to the front and back to the front. So he's had a very eventful race, and right behind him, he's got the car that was involved in that incident with him. So the 2 drivers who started on the pole and on the inside, or on the outside pole, they are now inside the top 10.
Yes, Gabe, and on that note, while we got one more minute or two, we're going to step away for a last time, hopefully, fans, for our last, hopefully, commercial break. We will be back in a minute. This is the Scoops Ice Cream 160. You're watching on All Pro Broadcasting Live here from Talladega Superspeedway. Scoops Ice Cream from Viera, Florida. Making family traditions one scoop at a time. We will be right back.
Green flag.
Welcome back, fans. Gabe, tell us about this restart.
Oh, I'll tell you about it. The 003 there, he almost got clipped up into the fence. Looked like the 50 came down. Oh, big wreck. Jesse Abrams. He gets spun in front of the field. Big wreck, car flipping down the bottom side of the racetrack. Looks like Josh Bonwell in the 56 took a wild ride down to the bottom side of the racetrack. We're going to have to go back and look at that replay. Caution is out just after the green flag. It looked like that started way back at the restart with the 50 of Steve Hendricks. He came down just a little bit on the number 99 of Jesse Abrams, or excuse me, the 003, and that caused the 99 of Jesse Abrams to check up. And then another car got into the back of him, and a wild ride for that 56 of Josh Bonwell. He got clipped, and it just shot him up in the air.
Yes, Gabe, looks like they just didn't get a good start there at all.
That's what happens here at Talladega. These guys, they're all full throttle. By the time they see the first car in front of them, or if the spotter tells them that the leader is going, they are on that loud pedal and going as fast as they can, and it's just not enough time. If somebody checks up in front of them, we saw that with the 44 Ray Richer. He talked about somebody had to jump out of the throttle in front of him, and he had to do it. But sometimes these guys, they're focused on something else, trying to nail their restart, getting through the gears, and these guys, they just plow into the back of somebody, and that causes a wreck like this.
Dave, you could call that the big one. Many cars damaged in that caution there.
And while all that was happening, the 19 of Curtis Young gets his first lap led of the night here, closing in on 10 to go. Got around the 21 of Richard Dix, so good job by him there to take advantage of pretty much everybody behind him slowing down, trying to make it through that wreck, and he ended up taking his momentum to the lead.
Yes, Gabe, and this throws a lot of strategy into what's going on, because we just had a caution. The leader stayed out from what I can remember. They saved some fuel. If the guys were short on fuel, will this caution get them to the end, Gabe?
Oh, it should. We're going to close in here on 10 laps to go, depending on the size of the fuel tank. We should be good, unless you're the rules maker, unless we have a limited fuel tank for these cars.
Yes, Gabe, they have a 75% fuel cell.
Oh, well, they should be good. That's more than enough fuel to make it to the finish. They kind of made this on one stop, so I think the most important thing was tires for these guys trying to make it through the pack and just trying to use up the rubber that they had and coming in and taking new tires. So the fuel really not that big of an issue. These guys are going to be able to make it to the end. And unfortunately, on the iRacing service, we get in 5 laps to go. That'll be something to remember. If we get after 5 laps to go, that is the cutoff point. iRacing does not have a system to where we can have a green-white checkered finish, and it takes 5 laps to reset the field like you've seen here tonight. Well, after 5 laps, once we hit the lap 55 mark, a caution after that will end the race. They will finish where they are. So that'll be something to remember. If we get a wreck and somebody's out front past that mark, they will be the winner as long as they can make it back to the finish line.
Hopefully that won't be the case tonight, Gabe. Hopefully these guys have got all the cautions out of their system. We're going to have a very exciting last 10 laps of this race. I can guarantee you that.
Drivers rounding turn number 3 into turn number 4. Lights still out. Our lights still on atop the iRacing.com new pace car, the GT3 Ford, Porsche Roof GT3. See, Raymond Rittenauer apparently was involved in that wreck. Didn't see him get involved, but unfortunately looks like he's in the wreck, and also Jason Jacoby in that number 1 Domino's machine. So those guys, end of their night, they had done so well to work their way back up after being involved in that first caution. So unfortunately, looks like an end to their night. And I'm just looking at Curtis Young in that number 19, Robert. He's got a little bit of front end damage, maybe from pushing so hard here in the last couple laps.
Yeah, hopefully that front end damage will not slow him down much. He is able to drive a slightly damaged car to a win. I've seen him do it many times earlier in our first season. It definitely will be interesting to keep a note on.
Yep, now that he's finally gotten to the lead, maybe that's what's been hampering him getting to the lead. I believe we saw that a couple years ago with Kevin Harvick. He got a little bit of damage from a big wreck early in the race, and they got him repaired. And he was able to get up and push behind every single car in the field, which was when, the 2-car tandem was very common. He was able to get behind, and he told his crew he is good behind somebody else's car, but as soon as he pulls out, it is like having a parachute, having that damage on the front or the rear of the car.
Yes, I'm bringing in the broadcast booth the number 4 machine of Stephen Parks. Stephen Parks, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Ran into a little bit of trouble early on in this race, but we're rebounding. We're getting up there.
Yes, Stephen, looks like you're running in 16th. Tell us how your car is and what you feel like your chances are of getting your first win. You are actually technically trying out for the Domino's TYJ Racing League, and we're happy to have you in here. How do you feel about your chances?
It's going to be a little tough. I'm finding that the top line is just not working. You get a run for a little while, and then somebody decides to break it and go down to the bottom, and then the top line just loses all their speed. So the bottom line is definitely where you want to be, and it's making it tough to get any passes done.
So the track feels pretty good to you. It's just a matter of the top line is hard to get enough cars together to make that pass on the high line.
Yeah, you're basically stuck to that bottom line, and so is everybody else, so you don't get many chances to make a pass.
Well, we wish you a lot of luck, Steve. Good luck tonight, and we'll definitely talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Coming to the start-finish line, guys getting lined up 2 by 2. Lights are out atop the pace car. We're going to have 10 laps to go here, Robert, at Talladega Super Speedway till the finish of this race. Lap number 50 will conclude at lap number 60. Hopefully we get green flag laps the entire time around. Final thoughts before we come back green.
I am definitely hoping that these guys can race clean these last 10 laps, 9 laps we're going to have when we come back to green. We've got some new players up front. It's going to be interesting to see if these guys can maintain where they are. For example, Richard Dixon, the 21 machine, has been up front here for the end of the race. Joe Johnson, the 18 machine, Steve Hendricks in the 50. Ray Richards made his way up to 6th. It'll really be interesting to see what happens here in the last 9 laps of this race, Gabe.
Now, Robert, I have to ask, am I qualified for the free pizza? Because I did pick the number 19 to win before halfway.
That is a very good question. If you are an employee of Domino's Pizza, if you are a member of Domino's TYJ Racing, you are excluded from this special offer. Technically, you're kind of contract employed with what we're doing here, so I would have to say you are disqualified. Sorry, Gabe.
Well,
Good
can I pick
question,
somebody? Can I pick somebody?
Yeah, absolutely pick somebody.
All
Or
right.
somebody in your family can pick, and then you can enjoy the pizza.
I'll see if I can pick whoever finished second. If somebody picked the guy who finished second, I'll give it to somebody in the chat. But that number 19 wins. We'll figure out who wins it. But that's all saying if the number 19 of Curtis Young wins it, because we have got 10 laps to go. That number 18 could win it. That 003 could win it, and the 50 of Steve Hendricks could win it. Anybody could win it. There are 25 cars on the lead lap, and every single one of them could drive themselves into victory lane. Green flag in the air, 10 laps to go. Let's see what's going to happen here. Going into turn number 1, the 21 on the outside lane, trying to get the push from that 003 of Kyle Carpentier. He's going to try and get that momentum moving. Ray Richard in that number 44 on the outside. Everybody dumps him. 3 cars on the outside, 20 plus on the inside. It's not looking good for that outside. He's got room to duck low. He does, so he's going to leave that 21 out to dry for at least a few more positions. That 21 ducks high, so he's going to get out of the way of the rest of the field, it looks like. So maybe he's going to try and run toward the back of the pack. I don't understand the strategy behind that, because look at this. It looks like as soon as he did that, a gap opened up behind the 003 and the 88. So he would have had a chance to duck below and get to the inside lane.
Maybe he knows something we don't know, Gabe. There could be one more caution, one more restart. He doesn't want to be part of it. Hopefully that will not happen. Up front, Curtis Young in the 19 machine definitely has control of this race, although the 18 is right behind him. He's looking for any opportunity he's got to take the lead. Gabe, when do you think Joe Johnson in the 18 machine may make a move? And do you think Steve Hendricks in the 15 machine or Kyle Carpentier in the 003 will go with him when he makes this move? That's the chance you take. You're running 2nd, 3rd, 4th, or 5th. You make a move. If nobody follows you, you're going to fall back like a rock. And there goes the 18 to the high.
Oh! Looks like the 18 is going to get shuffled out here on lap number 53. He's going to move to the outside lane. He's going to get shuffled. That 003 poking his nose out. Think he's going to go with him. Here they go. We got a 2-car tandem on the outside lane of the racetrack. Behind them, the 08 of Michael Jeans and looks like the 88 of Blake Freeman. They're going to work their way back up front. There was a 4-car breakaway. Now it's a 6-car breakaway. A little bit of pack, and here comes the rest of the inside lane. They're back. There, the 08 and the 18 moves to the top side of the racetrack, and the 88 gets clipped.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is
Blake
out.
Freeman into the wall.
Yeah, looks like the Michael Jeans machine of the 08 just did not have enough room there.
Wanted to get back down to the bottom side of the racetrack, and it was not clear. He thought he could pull back down, but ends up putting the 88 into the fence and ruining both of their races. Looks like maybe nobody else got involved. It looks like the number 95 of Jeffrey Ford ended up actually getting a little bit of damage there as he came back down the racetrack, but looks like everybody else got through clean, so only a 3-car wreck.
Yes, the 08 machine just barely clipped him. That was a big tumble the 88 of Blake Freeman took. Unfortunately, his race will be over. And Gabe, did you notice that the 21 of Charles Dix, did he make it through that one? Because he was falling back, like I was saying, maybe trying to avoid the accident that might have come.
You mean Richard Dix in the 21?
Yes, sir.
But he's running in the 20th spot. So before that, he slid way back, almost to the tail end of the lead lap, or he's 2 cars away from being on the tail end of the lead lap after the 2 guys wrecked up front, or 3 guys wrecked up front. So I believe, unless these guys can pull off a miracle, that 21 is out of this race, because I don't see him making up 19 positions in basically what's going to be about 3 laps.
It does look like we will get a restart here. Some of these guys that were up front, I don't think they're going to come down pit road, Gabe. They've kind of made their bed.
Oh, no.
They're going to be staying out, and I don't know if anybody behind them, even if they do have fresh tires, Gabe, is going to make a lot of room, a lot of movement up front. I think it's going to come down. If you're not in the top 8, you're probably not going to have a chance of winning this race. Although you never know, the front 5 or 6 could go 2 or 3 wide on the last lap. I tell you what, fans, you do not want to miss the restart here with 3 or 4 laps to go. Could be as few as 2 or 3 laps to go for the finish of this race, but it is definitely going to be exciting.
Guys lining up behind that Porsche pace car. The 19 of Curtis Young got to the lead a few laps ago around the 21 of Richard Dix. Looks like he's going to keep the lead, at least for the time being, before we go back green flag. But at 50 of Steve Hendricks, he has yet to have a problem all race, I don't think. He has driven one of the cleanest races I've seen at Talladega. He's been in the right place at the right time, along with that 003 of Kyle Carpanier.
That is true, Gabe. Steve Hendricks in the 50 machine has definitely caught my eye. He's definitely got a lot of talent. He might have a lot of luck on his side tonight, Gabe, but Steve Hendricks in the 50 machine, if he pulls out a top 3, that will definitely put him in a good position to make one of our final seats in one of our 3 series for 2017. It's going to be really interesting to see how he handles this because, like we said, Curtis Young in the 19 is a veteran. He's won many races with Domino's TYJ Racing. It's going to be hard to get around him, but on these plate tracks, Gabe, as you know and the fans know, these plate tracks at Talladega and Daytona are the great equalizer. Everybody is running in the top 5 or 10 with 2 or 3 to go. They've got a shot to win this race. It just depends on who goes with who when somebody makes the move there on the outside.
Now, Robert, I have to ask, as we're coming down to the finish, if one of the guys who are trying to make the tryout field, and win this tryout race and make their way into the regular season field, if they don't, has there anybody in this field that you would really consider if they don't win, like that you've been impressed with? I know you mentioned a few drivers just a second ago, but who do you think, if you had to pick somebody to make it in on merit other than winning, who would it be out of this field?
That's a great question, Gabe. I tell you one thing, Joe Johnson in the 18 machine, he's been up front, it seems like the whole race. He's raced clean. He could definitely make it into our league if he didn't win this race. Steven DeBoer in the 43 machine, he's definitely impressed me also. He's up here running in 5th position right now. Nick Reynolds in the 54 machine, he is up to 7th. And we just talked to Stephen Parks in the 4 machine. This is his first race with Domino's TYJ Racing. He's done some work with us in the past. He's a great gentleman. He could definitely, qualify for one of our series if he's able to hang on to a top 8 finish. And who knows, like I said, any of these guys can make it all the way to the front. Jesse Abraham, in the 99. I did have a telephone interview with him earlier this week. He's looking good tonight. It could just be anybody, but there are quite a few guys that have shown a lot of talent, a lot of patience, which is what it takes here.
Robert, I counted him out just a few laps ago. Between the 43 and the 54, there is sitting the 85 of Judd Danielson. Not 10 or 15 laps ago, we were seeing him overtaken by the leaders to go a lap down. He has gotten the free pass. He has worked his way back inside the top 10 into 6th. So after the eventful night he has had, I don't believe he's been in one wreck. It's just been caught a lap down trying to, not really sure what he's been trying to do, fixing that car or something. But he is now in a position to maybe, just maybe, put that 85 car into victory lane.
That is a great point. I think we might have just enough time to get him in the broadcast booth. Good, Danielson, how you doing tonight? We got you in the broadcast booth just for a second. We wanted to ask you, how have you made your way all the way up to 6th position? We know you were a lap down at one point. How do you feel for winning this race real quick?
I got a little bit of help here, I think, but for the most part, I avoided those 2. So I got to move over here, guys. I avoided those last 2 wrecks or whatever, and that's just what got me the opportunity here. So I'm going to go up there and try to run this thing with Curtis and the boys and see what we get.
Thanks a lot, Judd. Good luck.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, Gabe. Judd could definitely make a move here. He's very talented in our series.
Ladies and gentlemen, final restart of the night. We're going to come around to get 3 laps to go. These drivers are lined up 2 by 2 by 2 down through the field. 22 cars on the lead lap, 23 at least 1 lap down. That 23rd car of the 37 of Todd Kirkwood, he is 1 lap down, but it will not matter because we have 22 cars with a shot to win this race. The 19 of Curtis Young won basically everything there was to win in the 2016 season, at least in the second half, but he's looking to start off the new season with a win. iRacing.com Series Pace Car is going to duck down to the bottom side of the racetrack one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your last restart. Pull those belts tight because from now on, it is a race. Let's see what's going to happen here. The 19 of Curtis Young in the lead. That 003 behind him. That 50 of Steve Hendricks behind on top side of the racetrack behind him. The 18 of Joe Johnson. Here they come to the flag stand. Green flag in the air. That 50 is going to get a good jump. That may be a penalty. He may need to jump off. He had a full car length lead. Let's see what's going to happen here. He's going to duck down in front of the 19 of Curtis Young. So move that 50 of Steve Hendricks into the lead. Got a good jump on the restart. Oh, big wreck behind him. He's going to win the race.
Wow. That is something else. It looks like Stephen Parks in the number 4. He just made a wrong move at the wrong time.
Looking back at your replay just after the green flag here on the restart. We're going to get that replay for you. See what happened here on the restart. He jumped down to the bottom and just cut it just a little bit too much and ended up clipping the 43 and the 85 who we just talked to, sending them up into the wall. Looks like it just took out those few cars and then maybe a few behind him. But no harm done to the rest of the field coming around to take what should be 2 laps to go. It's going to be that 50 of Steve Hendricks.
Yeah, that replay is under review by the NASCAR officials. We'll give you an update in just a minute.
Robert takes a look at that. We're going to run through your field where they are at right now. The 50 of Steve Hendricks. He is your leader at the moment. The 19 of Curtis Young in second. Kyle Carpentier in the number 003 in that 3rd position. And the 18 of Joe Johnson in that 4th spot. Nick Reynolds in the 54 is running in 5th. That is your top 5 at the moment as they come around to take the white flag.
Yes, it looks like you probably just mentioned it. Steve Hendricks is going to come home with the win. Curtis Young in second. Kyle Carpentier in the 003 is coming in third. A lot of guys still had a good finish here tonight.
Coming around to take the white flag in what has been a long and eventful race for what has been Talladega over the past couple years with guys getting single file. We saw that outside lane not work as well as it should have. It looks like the draft package, this build is not living up to standards that we've been used to here with the outside lane, at least in the Cup cars. But we saw a very, very gutsy move with him timing the restart perfectly and was able to duck down after the start-finish line. Well, that 50 is Steve Hendricks. If he can make it around, barring internet connection drop or anything, or running out of fuel, maybe, he will win this race, and the 19 will come home in second.
Yes, Gabe, and some other surprises for this race. Stephen Parks in the 4 machine, he had a pretty impressive run until that last restart. Ray Richer in the 44 machine, like I said, he's always running good. He had a good race here tonight. Justin Anderson in the 16 machine we didn't speak much about. He looks like he's moved his way up to 11th. And then, fortunately, Judd Danielson in the 85 machine got caught up in that last incident there. He had a shot to maybe bring home a top 5, just didn't work out.
He's going to bring that number 85 Chevy home in. Looks like maybe the 20th position, so still gets a top 20 out of it. Which, considering the field of 36 cars at Talladega, with a bunch of guys who have never driven around each other, is actually a pretty decent finish. Let's see as they come around to get the checkered flag. It's going to be the 50 in the lead as he comes onto the front straightaway into the tri-oval. We thought we'd see a photo finish, but we're going to see the pace car lead him to the checkered flag with that number 50 and the rest of the field in tow. Win race number 2 of the Domino's TYJ Tryout Series is going to go to that number 50 Chevy SS of Steve Hendricks.
Yes, sir. And we're going to bring into the broadcast booth here in just a minute Curtis Young in the number 19 machine. He had a little bit of a disappointment there. He led a lot of laps there at the end of the race. Unfortunately, he was not able to get the win. Give me just a second here. Curtis Young in the 19 machine. Tell us how that race went, and congratulations on the second place finish. I know it's not what you wanted, but tell us how your race went.
Well, started mid-pack and just got up there pretty early, really, and stayed within the top 5 the whole night. I thought I had a good chance on that final restart, but yeah, I don't know, the 50 either left early or got a good start or something, I don't know. But caution came out at a bad time and cost us the win.
Yeah, that restart was real close. Again, we didn't see, after review, it was too close to call as far as an official jump in the restart. On that restart, when the green flag did come out, it was very close. You did have a good run tonight. Of course, you're going to be back, I know, and win many races in 2017. We want to thank you for being here, and what kind of sponsors would you like to give a shout out to?
I just want to thank Eric Hawk. He does pretty much everything on iRacing here for me, paint scheme wise and setting up practice and all that stuff. So thanks to him and everybody at Domino's TYJ Racing and All Pro Broadcasting new for 2017 and Domino's. Thanks to you guys as well. And my dad for watching most of the time, but he happens to be asleep right now.
Can totally understand. We all love the support and need the support of our fathers and mothers in this sport. Thanks again, Curtis, and you have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Robert.
I've caught up here with, ladies and gentlemen, we finally have a pronunciation of the 003's name, and we did not get it right all night. We got the 003 of Kyle Charpentier. That is Charpentier. Get used to that name because he finished 3rd here tonight. He did very well, so we may well hear his name a lot. Maybe a victory lane in the 2017 season. Kyle, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
You drove your heart out in that race on the bottom side, on the top side. What did it feel like? You know, you got shuffled out a couple times. You know, did you feel the race was kind of lost sometimes when you got shuffled to the top side? Because we saw it was not the strongest part of the racetrack to be.
Well, when I made that first move to the outside, it didn't work. I wasn't too worried. It was early on in the race. Restrictor plate races are comers and goers. I was pretty confident I'll be able to make my way back up front.
Me and Robert watched all race, and he was very impressed with the racing you had. So you think you got a shot on getting into the 2017 season?
I'll see what I can do, but at this moment I don't have all the tracks, so I don't think I'll be able to race.
Quite unfortunate. Somebody started GoFundMe for the 003 to get him all the tracks on iRacing. But Kyle, hopefully you're not too mad at me and Robert because we butchered your name. I think the counter went up to about 30 or 40 times the other night.
Oh, it's okay.
All right. Well, congratulations. Any sponsors you want to thank? We saw it was called Pretty Paint Scheme by a couple people in the chat. Who do you want to thank?
I'd like to thank Drive for Suicide Prevention for inspiring me to create this paint. And that's just about it, yeah.
Kyle, I got one quick question for you. If you don't own all the tracks right now, that's not really a big problem. Definitely get with me over the weekend. I would definitely like to do a telephone interview with you, ask you a couple of simple questions, and see if we can't get a spot for you in one of our series. We've got the Truck Series, the Infinite Truck. the Premier Xfinity Series and the Top Shelf Gen 6 Cup car. We'll find some place for you if you're interested. Again, congratulations on the win, and you just let me know how you want that $10.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Sorry you didn't win the race. Next time you'll get the $10. Sorry about that, guys.
It's all right. It's always the next time.
All right, thanks again, Kyle.
No problem. Hopefully see you later.
All right, well, we finally got him for an interview. He started in Talladega Victory Lane. That number 50 of Steve Hendricks, he timed that restart perfectly. Steve, congratulations on your win here tonight.
Thank you. It was a fun race.
We saw you get into contact a few times there off the restarts. Was it really that close to racing? Everybody trying to jockey for position? And we saw, guys just racing for position, clipping each other, and that's what caused a few of the wrecks. Was it as bad for up front as it was for the rest of the field?
With these aero packages we got, it's hard to suck up, and you really need to stay bumper to bumper to get a run. And getting close to the end of the race, things got a little more aggressive. Guys were jockeying a little more, trying to get everything they can out of it.
Now, Steve, I want to know, how did you time that restart so perfectly? Was it your plan to do that because you knew a caution was probably going to come? Or did you just, kind of luck into it and you were kind of hoping just to be out front and be out front as long as you could?
Well, I'd been patient the whole race. I tried the outside a couple times and it just wasn't going to work. I got shuffled all the way back almost outside the top 10, restarting on the outside, and I knew on that final restart I needed help from behind, and you really needed to time it just right. I knew I was taking a chance. It was either, throw it all out there, roll the dice and see what happens, and hopefully, you don't get black flagged and jump it too much. But I'm just thankful that I had the 18 behind me. He helped me right to the end. I was actually hoping we were going to go green. It would have been a great finish. There was a bunch of good cars up the top 5, top 10. It would have been interesting, but win's win. I'll take it.
Excellent, Steve. Wanted to ask you a couple of real quick questions. First of all, how do you want your $10 for winning tonight's race? And have you been to the website to apply for our league yet?
I have. Yes, I have. I've applied, and a gentleman, I think it was Robert, gave me a call the other day and told me about this race, told me to come try it out.
That would be me, Steve. I do remember talking to you. You're in Canada. What part of Canada, Steve?
I'm just in St. Catharines, just outside of Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Well, congratulations, Steve. I will definitely be in contact with you over the weekend. You can apply that $10 to your fees for 2017, or you can get the whole cold hard cash. It's completely up to you. Again, congratulations. Who would you like to thank for this win?
Everybody that hosted this race and put on a great show. It was a fun race.
Any other questions from you, Gabe?
No, I'd just like the 50 congratulations. He drove a great race. It's not like he lucked into it. He was up front making the moves. You were one of the only people I saw kind of darting around trying to make some moves, and I was actually very impressed by that. I'm looking forward to 2017 season.
Yeah, early in the race I tried a few things, just seeing what the car could do, so then I knew that when it came down to a late race restart, I knew if I had anything or not. And unfortunately, I didn't think I had a car to be on the outside. I was trying to stick to the bottom the whole race and just kind of play it out. But yeah, it worked out. I'm thrilled. It's my first win actually, so it's great.
Well, congratulations, Steve. Like I said, we will be in touch over the weekend. You have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you soon, Steve.
All right, thank you.
Well, Gabe, closing thoughts you have on this, and did you have anybody in the live chat pick Steve Hendricks as the win?
Unfortunately, I did not see it. I think the only picks that we had in time were for the 003. I'm looking. We had a couple of picks. I'm looking through.
Yes, so
we had a few people.
Yeah, we had a lot of folks text in on my cell phone. We had a couple picks for Curtis Young. We had a pick for Tim Cox. We had 4 picks for Jason Jacoby. We had a couple other picks for, let's see, Richard Dix there. He was leading. I think that was after the lap 30. We did have one lady, Elizabeth Gregory. She is from Atlanta, Georgia. She picked the 50, so she will be receiving the free Domino's Pizza dinner over the weekend. I will get in touch with her and find out exactly what she wants, what kind of toppings, etc. And of course, that offer does apply for carry-out only for all you fans, so you know in the future. But we are very happy to do this every single week we race, and we definitely ask you fans to tune in next week. You could be the lucky winner of a free pizza dinner.
Remember to tune in next week with me, Robert, and the rest of the gang, everybody you saw here tonight, and maybe a few extras thrown in there who can throw the wild card into the ring next time the Domino's TYJ Racing Series shows up. We're going to pack it up here tonight and move on to the next racetrack. Thank you for watching us here at Talladega Super Speedway. We're going to close out the broadcast tonight. For me, Gabriel Wood, Robert McFarland, Michael D'Amico, for All Pro Racing Broadcast. This has been Talladega Super Speedway and the Domino's TYJ Racing Series. Good night.